Hi guys, this is Mr. Tan, and today we are looking at e-business and e-marketing. And this is week one and session one. And on completion of this course, we're going to have completed various learning outcomes, which includes, analyzing the characteristics of the challenges and opportunities in the digital marketing environment, assessing the significance, of the impact of dynamic digital environment, outlining and discuss how different digital tools may enhance customer experience, explaining the importance of digital platforms and channels in the marketing context, evaluating the various digital activities used to support and enhance multi-channel marketing, and analyzing appropriate principles used in effective digital marketing. So these are the learning outcomes of this module. And today we're going to look at the introduction to digital marketing, an introduction to e-business, and an introduction to e-marketing. So let's see what we understand, what we mean by digital marketing. We're going to identify e-commerce and height of characteristics and find out differences between e-commerce and e-business. So what do these things actually mean? I'm sure you actually have some idea already, but we're going to try and provide some definitions and try and provide a deeper clarification of these terms and areas, so that this will allow you to apply it to the marketing mix and see how we implement these things from a digital or e-commerce perspective. So, introduction to digital marketing. So digital marketing, is an exciting area to be involved in, since many new opportunities and challenges yearly, monthly, and even daily. So it is an expanding area, and to be au fait in this area means you can become more marketable, and if you're more knowledgeable in this, you become more of an asset to companies. And innovation, with the continuous introduction of new technologies, new business models, and communication approaches. So this is an area that people do need to have some understanding in. In digital business and e-commerce management, we will explore approaches managers can use to assess the relevance of digital technologies and then devise and implement strategies to exploit these opportunities. And really the question is, why are we doing all this? From a business or from a marketing perspective, it's, if you define marketing as a mutually satisfying exchange at a profit in the long term. So how do we maximize the profit of a business? Well, we maximize the profit of businesses by the use of digital and e-commerce management. Okay, so definitions. What is digital marketing? When we look at digital marketing, we can say it's the use of the internet and other digital media and technology to support modern marketing. Has given rise to the bewildering range of labels and jargons created both by academics and professionals. So just focusing on that again, it's digital media and technology used to support modern marketing. So you've done the marketing mix and the extended marketing mix, the product, the price, the place and the promotion, the people, process and the physical evidence. So it's this use of the latest technology to enhance business activities. When we look at digital marketing, it can be simply defined as achieving marketing objectives through applying digital technologies and media. Okay, so let's look at digital media. Communications are facilitated through content and interactive services delivered by different digital technology platforms, including the internet, web, mobile, phone, interactive TV, IPTC, and digital signage. So this digital media is to be used in all areas of the business, to really, if we go back to what marketing is, a mutually satisfying exchange at a profit in the long term, to maximize the profits in all efficiencies and areas of your business. So it's to be able to use this technology to enhance and make the company more profitable, thus giving it a unique selling point or competitive advantage. Digital marketing, the application of the internet and related digital technologies in conjunction with traditional communications to achieve marketing objectives. If we think about the basic four P's: product, price, place, and promotion. Now, in the promotion, for instance, there is the promotional mix. Now, if we think about the promotional mix in terms of how you communicate with your target customer, well, and your trade pliers and people all along the channel, then you're saying to yourselves, well, elements of the communication mix includes advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, direct sales, and personal sales. So and public relations. So and it's how we use digital marketing to facilitate all these areas within the communication part. So product, price, place, and communication. And promotion. So it's how we use it, but it's not just in the promotion and with the communication mix, but it's also in other areas how we actually get this through in terms of the product, price, and place as well. Online company, the presence differs, forms of online media controlled by a company, including their website, blogs, email lists, and social media presences, also known as owned media. I mean, even if you look at blogs, email lists, and social media presence, owned media. If you look at the recent campaigns in America, you will see that each the Republicans and Democrats both had their own medias, and when they go into each county, they would then break down the counties by different areas, and then each area they could actually pinpoint if it's a Republican area or a Democrat area, and then they would know in terms of their blogs and their website and their own media what they would need to do to communicate either to their target customer to get them to come out, or to have defensive measures in terms of media communication by targeting their opposition with counteractive media campaigns. Electronic customer relationship management, ECRM, using digital communications technologies to maximize sales to existing customers and encourage continued use of online services through techniques including database, personalized web messages, customer services, email and social media marketing. And we see this today in Tesco's and with their Tesco's Club Card. Tesco's would have had your email address, and you might even see a promotion. They will actually monitor what you buy, how often you buy it, and so on and so forth, so they know exactly what, when, and where you buy, where you live. And then if they have a promotion on a specific product, they might target you specifically because they know that you buy this item. So again, targeted campaigns. You might see an email that comes from Tesco, so you might see a text message saying this is on offer. Multi-channel marketing, customer communications, and product distributions are supported by a combination of digital and traditional channels at different points of the buying cycle. The customer journey, the sequence of online and offline touch points a customer takes during a buying process, or broader customer experience. Online, this may include a range of digital platforms, communications, medias, websites, pages, and engagement devices. The customer journey, how do they actually get to where they get to in terms of them taking a choice to actually buy. The consumer buying behavior, Engel, Collett and Blackwell, 1979, or the later ones. What media and communication, where do they get their messages from to actually get them to take action if it's a routine, limited or extended problem solving purchase. So exactly what is the customer journey? Paid, owned and earned media. To develop a sound digital strategy today involves understanding a more complex, more competitive buying environment than ever before, with customer journeys involving many different forms of online presence. Paid media. These are bought through media where there is an investment to pay for visitors, reach or conversations through search, display, ad networks or affiliate marketing. Offline traditional media like print, TV advertising and direct mail remain important, accounting for the majority of paid media spent. So, if we look again at the marketing mix, the product, price, place and promotion, in terms of the promotion, you have advertising. So in terms of advertising, sales promotion, direct sales, personal selling and public relations. Well, these, to access your target audience through these means, will incur a cost. Even if you're doing public relations, PR is still going to incur cost. If you're doing sponsorship, I know that we when I was working for one company, Metro Products, I sponsored Tony Mason, and he was looking after the Simonite sisters. They were rally car drivers, so I sponsored Tony Mason, who was previously on Top Gear. So and his drivers, and then we put our logos all over his drivers' cars. Likewise, I started a business in terms of a direct soft furnishings company online called Curtain Post Direct. And in order to be seen high up on the search engines, you either do one of two things. You either put in all the keywords all over your pages, and then monitoring and monetizing your website to get high up on page one, hopefully at the top. And then the other thing you can do is pay for rankings on Google to be high up. Even though I was paying £2,000 a month, the turnover of the company was 150 to 200,000 a year. So more than covered all the costs in terms of the ads, the ranking ads being paid online. Owned media. This is media owned by the brand. Online, this may include a company's own websites, blogs, email lists, mobile apps, or social presence on Facebook, LinkedIn or Twitter. Offline media may include brochures or retail stores. Owned media. Again, these, lists of your customers, blogs, email lists, mobile apps, websites, very, very important for your presence. Facebook, very important, because everyone's using these now. So it's very, very important to have one yourself. Earned media. Traditional, earned media has been the name given to publicity generated through PR, public relations, invested in targeting influencers to increase awareness about a brand. Now, earned media also includes word of mouth that can be simulated, through virtual, viral and social media marketing, and conversations in social networks, blogs, and other communities. Earned media. So again, very, very important, especially with the latest technology now and all the social media in terms of public relations. Very, very important to get your views across. Even we've seen it heavily in the US elections with social media, in Twitter and Facebook and all the other social media platforms, that Donald Trump has been and the Republican Party had been giving out their messages to their target and their core customers. But likewise, they had been giving out disinformation as regards to the opposition candidate in terms of what they could stand for, trying to put other people off. So again, very, very important to target your customers and maybe other customers who you don't really want to achieve a certain objective. So here we can see advertising, paid displays, ads, affiliate marketing, digital signature, partner networks, including published editorial, influencer outreach, word of mouth, social networks. So you've got digital properties, websites, blogs, mobile apps, social presence, and in between these we've got the different overlaps, paid placements, autonomization of content into ads, autonomization of conversation through shared APIs and social widgets. So again, in terms of advertising and media, you've got advertising which can be paid, it can be owned, or it can be earned. So when we look about e-business, what does that spring to mind when you see the word e-business? Well, I don't know. For me personally, when I see e-business, I'm thinking e-commerce. Again, I started various websites, and one of the websites I had was Curtain Post Direct, and I set that up from scratch. Now, to set up a completely e-business from scratch is not as easy as it sounds, especially when you're trying to get a merchant account. And when you're trying to get a merchant account and you're trying to fully integrate this into your buying, because if you don't have a merchant account, then you can't, the monies that are paid into your account comes 30 days later, whereas you want your money due to cash flow to come in next 1 or 2 days. But there are many platforms now that have fully integrated e-commerce, but then it goes through a third party, it doesn't come to you direct. So there could be possibly issues there. Digital business and e-commerce, the internet refers to the physical network and links computers across the globe. It consists of the infrastructure of network services and wired and wireless communication links between them, and they are used to hold and transport data between the client devices and web servers. Okay, the internet, the www, the World Wide Web. World Wide Web, the most common technique for publishing information on the internet. It is accessed through the desktop or mobile web browsers, which display interactive web pages of embedded graphics and HTML, XML encoded text. So we're all connected around the world, so the world becomes a smaller place. Wireless communications, electronic transactions and communications conducted using mobile devices such as laptops and mobile phones, and fixed access platforms with different forms of wireless connection. Very, very important now, wireless connection, because we're on the go all the time. We're using our mobiles, we're using our laptops, and we want this wireless connection to be able to go into our banking, to be able to buy things, to transfer money across, to access our OneDrives and information, and to see what emails are coming through, to see what Twitter Twitter feeds are coming through. We want to be up to date in terms of what's happening. Latest news events comes up on my phone, so I know exactly what's happening. Latest news. Very, very important to have these wireless communications. Disruptive digital technologies. Daniels 2004 defined disruptive technologies as a technology that changes the basis of competition by changing the performance of metrics along with the firms compete. Customer need drive customers to seek certain benefits in the products they use, and from the basis of customer choices between competing products. Okay, disruptive digital technologies. Again, companies have to be up to date in terms of the latest digital technologies, because if you're using a certain digital technology and then someone else comes out with a more effective one, well, it could actually put you behind the competition. What is the difference between digital business and e-commerce? The rapid advancement of technology and its application to business has been accompanied by a range of new terminology and jargon, such as e-CRM, so CRM, customer relationship management, e-retail, and e-procurement. Okay, so we're talking about e-business and e-marketing. If we think about it in terms of e-business is like the e-commerce, and then you have the e-marketing, which is the CRM and eCRM type. And it's important to get hold of your customer relationship management all the way through your supply chain. Very, very important. If we, other people have said that, noted that it is understanding the services that can be offered to customers and the business benefits that are obtainable through digital technology that is important. It's very important, and remember, it's not just your end consumer who is your target consumer. It could also be buyers in terms of retail buyers. If we take the example of Tesco's now have introduced cross-docking technology, whereby they don't actually hold the stock of a lot of their retailers, like for 50-inch TV. So instead they will advertise it on their websites, then someone would buy that TV, and then Tesco's would take the order and the payment, and then they would send the order out to that company, and then the company would then send that order out direct to the end consumer. So then and it's the use of eCRM, the customer relationship management, but it's not just the end consumer. There are other targeted customers that you have as well along the supply chain, so that Tesco's don't have to actually hold that stock. They don't actually have to buy that stock until they actually need it. So they're not taking up space. They're not taking up someone delivering it in. They're not having the cost of stocking it and storing it. They're not having the cost of sending it out. So they're reducing their costs by the use of good e-business, digital e-business. So, and using this digital e-business comes back to achieving the marketing philosophy. What is e-commerce management? Management of e-commerce involves prioritizing buy side and sell side activities and putting in place plans and resources to deliver the identified benefits. Okay, we're talking about e-commerce through people buying on the internet, on the World Wide Web, and we're from their phones, from their laptops, from their PCs, and we're saying how are people actually going to buy this? So e-commerce management, and some companies are still not using e-commerce management. I mean, if you look at Primark, Primark are not using e-commerce to sell. I mean, it could be a huge market area, and given today's environment, where you have these lockdowns as well and everything else, you would say that Primark, in terms of these deliveries, are basically losing sales. Introduction to e-commerce. Well, e-commerce, one is a communications perspective, the delivery of information, products or services, or payment by electronic means. Information, products or services, or payments by electronic means. Okay. A business process perspective, the application of technology towards the automation of business transactions and workflows. A service perspective, enabling cost cutting at the time as increasing the speed, quality and service delivery. An online perspective, the buying and selling of products and information online. These definitions show the electronic commerce is not solely restricted to the actual buying and selling of products, but also includes the pre-sale, post-sale activities across the supply chain. Very, very, very important. Digital business. So if we look at digital business, it's broader in its scope than e-business. Is similar to long-term e-business, which was coined by IBM, who described it in 1997 as e-business, the transformation of key business processes through the use of internet technologies. Okay, the transformation of key business processes through the use of internet technologies. Digital business management. Digital business is aimed at enhancing the competitiveness of an organization by developing innovative digital technologies through an organization and beyond, through links with partners and customers and promotion through digital media. So we're talking about the e-marketing side, the digital business side, which we're saying that, again, I gave you the example of Tesco's, and it's the management of this all the way through. And we're talking about, e-marketing. We're talking about, not just to how we communicate in terms of the marketing mix to the end consumer. We're also saying, how do we actually reach the buyers we're buying goods from? How do we source buyers? How do we use this technology to see what their setup is? How do we get reviews from people in terms of products that we want to buy and put in our supply chain? We're saying to ourselves, how do we work with the people who we're buying goods from in order to make our business model more cost effective? Okay, so that's a brief introduction in terms of the e-business and e-marketing side. Thank you today for Mr. Tan.